And welcome back. This is episode 4 of the Prismatic Pearl. We're talking about Ecclesiastes, the book in the Bible written by King Solomon. But before we get in there, I want to direct you to a couple different places. One is Facebook. Many of you have found me on Facebook already. I do post everything I can on Facebook, including my church's broadcasts over the week. I got car coach with Charlie Melton. If you guys don't know him, he's I'm not sure if I can say this, but he used to do autocorrect on MPB. He's gone independent since, and this is where he's at now. Now, I'm not sure what the situation is there. I feel like I can do scuttlebutt. This is my content. So, look up scuttlebutt if you don't know what it means. I just did a full-length podcast with my dad, Tim Surratt, domestic violence prevention. If you have a situation, somebody that you know may have gone through this, look through these two videos, Conversations with Pearl's Beloved Sheepdog and What Lies Behind Closed Doors. These are about domestic violence. It's a serious thing. We take it very seriously. In the Surratt household, we really encourage people to get help before, during, and maybe even after it gets bad, right? We just love y'all too much to not have you think about that, right? Everything is meaningless, not so easily broken, and there's a time for everything. If you've missed them, I just did the last episode. I'm not sure what to call it yet, but this is my series on Ecclesiastes. We also do written articles on Substack. If you want to get this first, before anyone else, for free, if you so choose, look up this on Substack, The Prismatic Pearl. Put your email in. There you go. You don't even have to pay for it. All right? I make enough money at work and all that other stuff. I want to do this for you guys. That being said, Prismatic Pearl Podcast on Spotify. If you don't have the time to watch a video, but you got a lot of work to do and you can throw in an earbud, listen to this stuff on Spotify. Everything so far is going to Spotify. I'm still working on the kinks, but that being said, and here in the future, hopefully I can get this running. YouTube. Maybe you don't like Substack. Maybe you don't like Facebook. Maybe you don't even like Spotify. YouTube. And it makes it easier to like and share and subscribe, right? On anything, if you see a subscribe button, if you see a like button, plug it in. I appreciate that. That being said, Ecclesiastes 6. I've seen evil under the sun, and it weighs heavily on mankind. God gives some people wealth, possessions, and honor, so they lack nothing their heart desires. Who else had nothing? Who else lacked nothing their heart desires? Probably Solomon, right? Actually, he says that earlier in Ecclesiastes 3 or 2, maybe 1. So they lack nothing their hearts desire, but God does not grant them the ability to enjoy them, and strangers enjoy them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. Solomon did not even have the ability to enjoy the work of his own hands. In fact, he was doing a bunch of very cool stuff. I mean, Israel at the time was free from being plundered, being attacked, right? Solomon was the man of peace. David was the man of war, his father, right? David was a warrior. He built the first temple from the tabernacle. And he just could not enjoy it. He was given this crazy wisdom and just couldn't enjoy all this stuff, right? A man may have 100 children and live many years, yet no matter how long he lives, he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive a proper burial. I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. Man, Solomon, you're a downer. Um, it comes without meaning. It departs in darkness, and darkness is in darkness. Its name is shrouded. Though I never saw the sun or knew anything, it has more rest than does that of man. Even if he lives 1,000 years twice over, but fails to enjoy his prosperity, do not all go to the same place. Everyone's toil is for their mouth, yet their appetite is never satisfied. And what advantage have wise over fools? What do the poor gain by knowing how to conduct themselves before others? Better what the eye sees than the roving of the appetite. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Whatever exists has already been named, and what humanity has been known, no one can contend. With someone who is stronger, the more words, the less the meaning. And how does that profit anyone? For who knows what is good for a person in life during the few and the meaningless days they pass? Through like a shadow, who can tell them what will happen under the sun after they are gone? That's a lot going on there, right? So let's go back and let's look at it. It comes from out meaning. It departs in darkness. In darkness, his name is shrouded. Let's see. Oh yeah, the sun has more rest than man. If he lives 1,000 years but fails to enjoy his prosperity. Yeah, I mean, so we talked in Ecclesiastes 5, right, where it's actually a good thing to gain satisfaction from your labor, and then when it's time, to basically clock out, the fact that you enjoyed your life, the fact that you did good things in your life, put in the work day by day, and you kind of check out on the clock of life, having enjoyed all of it. That's a very precious gift from God. And yet Solomon could not do that. Solomon could not appreciate the things, the little things, because he was too worried about everything else. I talked in the other one, Solomon actually did lack nothing that his heart desired, but he could not enjoy it. It's like Captain Barbosa in Pirates of the Caribbean. He gets the Aztec treasure, and then what did he have to gain for it? He's lived forever. He's got his unnaturally long life. He can't enjoy anything. He drinks wine and it turns to dust in his mouth or something like that. He can't enjoy the taste of bread or the other more sensual things in regards to the opposite sex. And yet, it's like having a hole in your heart. This is, I feel like, what Solomon is getting at, right? To gain the world, but to lose everything else. And this goes back to kind of like the fool and the wise man, right? The wise man doesn't enjoy anything, and the fool enjoys too much. But what advantage of the wise over the fools, and what did the poor gain by knowing how to conduct themselves before others? We've all seen the trope of the wild person that gets civilized, right? Or like Tarzan. Remember Tarzan, right? Where he meets these distinguished people from Europe, and he's been living as a gorilla his whole life, and all this stuff is toilsome to him, and he was having a good time with the gorillas, even though he's excited to see people his own, of his own species. George of the Jungle did it better, in my opinion. Let's see. Wisdom. A good name is better than fine perfume, and the day of death is better than the day of birth. It is better to go to a house of mourning than go to a house of feasting, for death is the destiny of everyone, and the living should take this to heart. Frustration is better than laughter, because a sad face is good for the heart. I wonder what that means. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, and the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. It is better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the song of fools. Like the crackling of thorns under the pot, so is the laughter of fools. This too is meaningless. Let's see if I can break this down. Remember, this is all for me, and then you guys just get to hang along. You guys or tag along, right? So I get the good name is better than fine perfume. Better to go to the house of mourning than go to house of feasting. For death is the destiny of everyone. The living should take this to heart. So I guess fulfill your destiny, maybe? Leave something in the comments if you get that one. It seems pretty straightforward, you know. The house of, you know, it's the wise is better. The wise is better than the fool, right? So if you spend your whole life doing drugs and everything else, I mean, you're not really doing anything worthwhile. At least the wise people try to contribute to something, right? It's better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than listen to a song of fools, right? I take that to mean it's better to listen to classical music than rap. I'm kidding. But like, if you think about that, you know, the people who apply themselves even to good music or just like consume good things that are good for you rather than just, I mean, listening to dog water music like most music is nowadays, right? Okay, here's the music genre that encompasses everything, right? In today's day and age, in my generation, all we have to listen to is I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm on drugs, I'm engaging in hookup culture, it sucks, everyone is betraying me for some reason, and I have nothing to look forward to, so I might as well keep continuing to cycle through all this, right? That's 99% of songs, right? I'm going to keep doing this. I hate it. It's bad for me. It's so bad for me. I'm anxious, medicated, and I can't get out of the struggle. That's 99% of music nowadays. If you don't believe me, go listen. Go listen to anything that came out post like 2005. That's all you get. Maybe even before 2005. Let's see. Extortion turns a wise person into a fool, and bribe corrupts the heart. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot to talk about extortion and turning wise people into fools today, for sure, right? Let's see. The end of the matter is better than the beginning, and patience is better than pride. I mean, when you finally get to solve a problem, patience is better than pride. Pretty easy. This is almost like Psalms, or not Psalms. It's almost like Proverbs, right? Where you get these short little things and they're packed full of meaning. Let's see. Do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the lap of fools. Yeah, man. Yeah. I wish I could like get all my colors. How do I do that? If somebody knows how to get all the colors on the app, let me know. Anyway, or not on the app, on the web browser. Let's see. Do not say, why were the old days better than these? For it is not wise to ask such questions. Man, everyone's like even I've done this. I'm only 30 years old. I do this sometimes. We're like, man, it was so good back in like the 2000s. Was it? Was it really good? Right. 2008 housing market crisis. Right. 9/11 was any of that really good? Patriot Act. Was any of that really good for anybody? But we had like the clear colored Super Nintendo. Or hold on. Was it Game Boy Clear purple? We had this, and this made up for it all. Okay, clear. It comes in different color. Clear color shell. I have caps lock on for some reason. Yeah, look. Let's see. Dude, if I had this. Oh, you can. I'm getting distracted. Okay. Anyway, this is what made the 2000s great. There's nothing else in the 2000s that's worth having except for this. I'm gonna get rid of that. That's temptation. Okay. But yeah, wisdom, like an inheritance, is a good thing, and it benefits those who see the sun. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it. Consider what God has done. Who can straighten what has made crooked? Catholics love this one. I've seldom seen a Catholic that I've talked to for a long time that haven't mentioned that God can write straight with crooked lines. Who's that? Bishop Barron, I think. Yeah, Bishop Barron. He says that a lot. God can write straight with crooked lines. Okay. Then times are good. Be happy. But when times are bad, consider this: God has made the one as well as the other. Right? He made the good and the bad for a reason. Therefore, no one can discover anything about the future. In this meaningless life of mine, I have seen both of these: the righteous perishing for their righteousness, and the wicked living long in their wickedness. Wow. Do not be over righteous, neither be over wise. Why destroy yourself? Why destroy yourself? Think about this. Even if you're being, wicked people destroy themselves, and so do overly righteous people, because they lose something very important in the extremes. The extremes are what destroy you. Okay? If you want to be extreme about something, be extreme for Christ. Do not be over wicked, do not be a fool. Let's see. And why die before your time? Moreover, who defines your time? Something to ask. It is good to grasp the one and not let go of the other. Whoever fears God will avoid all extremes. Avoid all extremes. I'm just let that sit there. Avoid all extremes. Whoever fears God. Somebody watching this is going to have a problem with that statement. Or I just know a few people off the top of my head. If you just read this part, this would save a lot of BS that you're going through. Stop being so extreme all the time. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. Anybody watching this, avoid all extremes. We're in the most hyper-polarized culture of all time. Avoid all extremes if you fear God. Wisdom makes one wise person more powerful than 10 rulers in a city. Indeed, there is no one on earth who is righteous. No, not one. You are not righteous. You think you are, you're not. That's part of being extreme. No one who does what is right and never sins. Do not pay attention to every word people say, or you may hear your servant cursing you. For you know in your heart that many times yourself have cursed others. Somebody needs to hear that one. Somebody needs to hear that one. All right. I love Ecclesiastes 7. We're going to go long on this one because it's so good. Okay. This is like Romans 7. So good. All right. All this is tested by wisdom, and I say, I'm determined to be wise, but this was beyond me. I tested by wisdom. Yeah. This was beyond me. Whatever exists is far off and most profound. Who can discover it? So I turn my mind to understand, to investigate and to search out wisdom in the scheme of things, and to understand the stupidity of wickedness and the madness of folly. For I find more bitter than death the woman who is a snare, whose heart is a trap, and whose hands are chained, or whose hands are chained, and the people who pleases God will escape her, but the sinner she will ensnare. Woman! I'm sorry if that was too loud. Woman! I'm just kidding. It's time to talk about women's wrongs. All right. But think about this. Solomon had like 1,000 wives. He had to throw that shade in there, okay? He was pretty much ensnared, okay? I'm not sure if any of his wives got to read Ecclesiastes before their time. I think he kept this one under lock and key. I don't know what tells me that, but I know any one of the 1,000 wives and concubines read that one, they probably wouldn't be happy. Look, says the teacher, this is what I have discovered. Adding one thing to another is to discover the scheme of things. And while I was still searching, but not finding, I found one upright man among 1,000, but not one upright woman among them all. And this only have I found. God created mankind upright, but they have gone in search of many schemes. Women, you have some explaining to do. I'm kidding. Yeah, so one upright man, I think that Solomon had a pre-Christ encounter when he says stuff like this, right? Because he's obviously not talking about, he's not saying that every woman is evil or bad or anything like that. He's saying, well, I mean, if you go up, no one is righteous, no, not one, right? What's the opposite of righteous? What's the opposite of unrighteous? In the biblical terms, that would be upright, right? So that being said, yeah, Solomon probably has a problem with women. Also, I think he had a pre-revelation of Christ encounter. This only I found. God created man upright, but they have gone in search of many schemes, right? This is like the Genesis narrative, right? Man got wicked really fast, and they stayed wicked. And even when God cleaned house and man restarted, they stayed wicked. But yeah. Anyway, there's so much going on here. This is the concept of depravity, right? Many people need to hear this, right? Do not pay attention to every word people say, or you may hear your servant cursing you, for you know in your heart that many times you yourself have cursed others. What is this reminiscent of? This is, do unto others as you wish to do to you, right? Or, love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah. Avoid all extremes. This one's so good, man. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, check us out. Facebook. Soon to be YouTube. Spotify, if you got it. Everything is free on Substack. You get in early if you get on Substack, because sometimes I'll post and I won't be able to put it on Facebook until way later. So just think about that. You get it first on Substack. Substack is where to go. If you want to support this content, great. There's a link on Substack. They'll get you right. Okay? Love you guys. Be safe. Avoid extremes. Don't tell your wife that she's not upright. God writes straight with quicker lines. Yeah. Anyway, peace.